Hello and welcome to the video tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to do a concept map. Super exciting. I love concept maps. They're my preferred way to study. The reason I love a concept map is because I'm a very visual person, so I like to organize my vocab and the new ideas that I'm learning together on a piece of paper so I can kind of see where everything fits together. And another reason I love concept maps is it helps you identify what you don't really understand. Like, maybe you have had the experience before where you know something but you can't explain it to someone. And what that tells us is that we don't really understand the thing we know. And if we don't know that we don't really understand it, then we don't realize that we need to put more effort into it. And a concept map is really useful for identifying where we need to work on material. So here's a concept map. I'm going to take a bunch of vocab words that are related to the biological molecules of nucleotides and nucleic acids. So let's use those words. Nucleotide, nucleic acid. We got DNAs in that group. We have RNAs in that group. We have like adenine, thymine, cytosine, guanine, uracil. So already, and I'm using the abbreviations here, but already a ton of vocab using being involved in just this one type of biological molecule. So to make a concept map, you got to figure out what your concepts are. Here's some concepts. And then you organize them together into this like tornado of relations. So you can try and figure out how these things interact with each other. And if you know how they interact with each other, then you can understand them better. So I'm going to start with nucleic acid in the center. And I'm going to put a big old circle around it. You could use a square or a triangle, whatever. There's no wrong way to do this really. And I'm using nucleic acid as the center or the starting point of my concept map because it's the biggest idea of these words. But if I didn't know that, I could just choose one at random. So nucleic acid, it's one of my biological molecules, and I have two other words here, DNA and RNA. Those are examples of nucleic acids. So I could put those up here. DNA, RNA. Cool. Now it's a map, so I have to connect them. And when you connect them, the way that the arrow tip points matters. So nucleic acids, some examples are DNA and RNA. Examples of nucleic acids are DNA and RNA. If the arrow was going the other way, I'd say that nucleic acid was an example of DNA and RNA, and that's reversed. So this is the bigger one, these are smaller. Next vocab word I have is nucleotide. A nucleotide is a subunit of a nucleic acid. So nucleic acids are made of nucleotides. Nucleic acids are made of nucleotides. Two examples are DNA and RNA. Now that I know that DNA and RNA are examples of nucleic acid, I could totally connect these two because DNA and RNA are also made of nucleotides. So the last thing on my list is adenine, thymine, cytosine, guanine, and uracil. I'm not going to write them out because I misspell everything all the time and I don't want to do that on a video. So I'm going to use the abbreviations A, T, C, G, and U. Each of those is a type of nucleic acid. So here they are. There are 5 types of nucleic acids. That's adenine, thymine, cytosine, guanine, and uracil. And since these are connected. That means that I could totally connect these to DNA and RNA. DNA and RNA are made of these 5 types. And I could even add that nucleic acids, these are the subunits. Which when you hear subunit, just think like the smaller Lego that makes up your bigger Lego structure. So subunits made of adenine, cytosine, guanine, and uracil. Those are the components that make up nucleic acids. So this is really cool, right? Because now I've got this awesome web, and I could probably like relate them a couple different ways. And I knew everything went and how to relate it to each other because I understand these concepts really well. But let's say that I had another word that I didn't know how it fit in, like sugar. If I didn't know where to put sugar on this concept map, that would tell me that I really don't understand how sugar is related. Even though it's totally a word that I know and I use all the time, it's not something I understand in this context. So then I would go back to my textbook and I'd read about it, and then I'd learn, oh, nucleotides are composed of 3 parts. One of those is a ribose sugar. And so I could take this sugar and I could put it back in and say, it's one of the parts of a nucleotide. So then sugar is a component of all these 5 nucleotides. And I could say, every nucleic acid also contains a sugar because sugars are part of nucleotides. And so it becomes this like beautiful web where everything is connected together with these different ideas. And if you can't put it on your map, that means that you have to study it. And that's the really cool thing about concept maps. Another fun thing that you could do, and I recommend you do after watching this video, is come up with a concept map for the other types of biological molecules. Right? Because we have 4 types of biological molecules. One of them is nucleic acids. Then you have biological molecule number 2, your proteins. You can make a concept map for that. Biological molecule number 3, your carbohydrates. You can make a map for that. And then biological molecule number 4, your lipids. You can make another concept map for that. And then as you go through, see what words fit and what words don't fit. Like if you don't know where starch goes or triglyceride, you know that those are the vocab words that you need to focus on. So I hope that this is helpful. You are going to use a concept map in one of your homeworks. And if you have any questions, email me. I hope you enjoyed it. Talk to you soon. Bye.